and this is a WoT I'm Thinking Debrief for the week of June 2nd, 2013. When it comes to misunderstood game mechanics, the Matchmaker remains an enigma to most of the player base. In the course of just a few matches, you're likely to see bad platooning, scout tank whiners, or general team mismatches like extra top tiers on one side. The Matchmaker certainly isn't a perfect animal in of itself, but understanding its machinations and why it does the strange things it does at times helps to avoid certain pitfalls. There is a good description of the matchmaking mechanics in the World of Tanks wiki, but the basics are that each tank has assigned battle tiers. Battle tiers differ from vehicle tiers, and while there are only 10 vehicle tiers, there are 12 battle tiers as shown in this chart. Generally speaking, mediums, heavies, and tank destroyers have similar battle tier ranges, while lights and self-propelled guns, aka artillery, have shifted ranges that go into higher battle tiers. This makes sense for artillery as they max out at tier 8 and have significantly more destructive capability in comparison to tanks of the same tier. This will change once the 8.6 patch comes out and artillery is stretched out to tier 10. It should also be noted that there are vehicles in game with special matchmaking which primarily includes premium tanks. The assigned battle tiers determine what vehicles a given tank will see in a random battle. As long as you play solo, you will only see vehicles within the assigned battle tiers. A tier 5 heavy tank, for example, will see mediums, heavies, and tank destroyers between tiers 3 through 7, light tanks between tiers 3 through 6, and artillery between tiers 3 through 5. In the old days before the matchmaker was tightened, tier 5 heavies would see tier 8s pretty regularly, and the KV would see tier 9s. One thing that can cause matchmaking issues is platooning. When platoon, the matchmaking is based on the tank with the highest battle tiers, so a tier 8 Arty platoon with a tier 8 heavy, for example, would get matched based on the tier 8 Arty battle tiers, which only sees tier 11 and 12 battles. This will more than likely drag the tier 8 heavy tank into a match with multiple tier 10 tanks as well as several higher tiered Arty units. The extreme case is taking a tier 1 along with 1 or 2 tier 10s. While usually done as a joke, it will cause an odd imbalance in vehicle weight that could cause an extra tier 10 to that team. Speaking of vehicle weight, this is a number assigned to every tank based on tier and vehicle type. Once a match is assigned a battle tier and enough candidates are selected for that battle, the matchmaker attempts to balance each team based strictly on vehicle weights to make each side equal. This is where some of the strangeness occurs, where one side has all the tank destroyers or all the fast tanks or all the scouts or an extra top tier, etc. There are also some special restrictions as well, mostly related to Arty balancing. While the matchmaker is a harsh mistress, a basic understanding of its rules and procedures help to decode its mysteries. As mentioned earlier, there's a more complete breakdown of the matchmaking mechanics in the World of Tanks wiki under the battle mechanics. And now it's time for the Match of the Week! The replay they'll be looking at is from June 8th on Mountain Pass in my T-54E1. I am platooned with KV Von Chill in his E-75 and the Real Paladin in his Lorraine 40T. As noted on the loading screen, this is a standard battle. Reviewing tank composition for this battle reveals the following. This is a tier 9 battle with 4 tier 9s per side. My team has 4 tier 8s while the enemy team has 5. My team has 5 tier 7s while the enemy team has 4. Both teams have 2 Arty pieces, a tier 6 and a tier 5. I don't recognize anyone in this battle. As the match loads in, I wanted to note that this is not an optimal platoon. While our tanks are tier 9, they have vastly different capabilities that aren't necessarily complementary. Both Paladin's Lorraine and my T-54E1 are autoloaders, but the Lorraine is much more of a hit-and-run tank due to its superior speed. KG's E-75 will definitely be the rock of this platoon as it's the only tank in our group that can take hits. Our plan is to go down to J2 and push the western road. As the match gets underway, my platoon is going to start heading to the northwest. I have spawned as far east as possible, so it's going to take me a little while to catch up with my platoon mates. The T-54E1 is definitely faster than an E-75, so I'll catch up. Got a little bit of a log jam in front of me. There was some friendly damage on the WZ-131. We rammed somebody on the way out. This should start to break up as we get to the fork ahead. The Lorraine obviously is way ahead. It's the fastest tank in our platoon. Pointing my turret across the gap in case an enemy spots us and starts shooting, but my sixth sense doesn't go off, so there's no enemies there, at least as of yet. We've got a 3002D in the ditch. Our Foch has spotted a Yag Tiger across the bridge. And the Yag Tiger is pushing right across. I'm going to try to swing around to the sniper ridge here and see if I can get a shot off on the Yag Tiger. Snap a shot off, but I wasn't fully aimed in and I miss. We have a Tiger P out in the open. Missed my first shot. Get a hit. And my fourth round is a hit, and I'm reloading now. Got enemy IS-3 pushing up at J2. T-29. We got a flood of tanks now. They're pushing in. We're gonna have to start backing out of this position as we don't have a lot of support. Trying to line up the KV-5. The enemy has pushed 6 tanks down the 1 column, and based on the mini-map we have limited support. Even though the enemies are all tier 7 and 8, they are still a significant threat. Auto-loaders are at a major disadvantage when it comes to holding off enemy tanks due to the long drum reload time. And I pen the R2-D2 for the 4th shot, and I'm reloading again. The enemy is pushing pretty hard here. And Paladin takes down the KV-5. Still reloading. About a 33-second reload on the 105mm gun. Paladin's taking a beating. There's really nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. Paladin drops off the cliff, down into the basin. Still not reloaded. Still waiting. KV-5 is pushing aggressively towards Paladin. I've reloaded. Going after the IS-3. I got a hit. Missed my 2nd shot. Nope, I bounced. And then I knock him down with my 3rd shot. I got 1 round left. Pump it into the side of the T-29. We've lost Paladin in that exchange. Head back towards the back of the cliff. I've made a little bit of a mistake here by trying to stay out of KG's way. I've rolled partway down the hill and cannot get back up. Ultimately, we knocked down enough of the enemy's push that he only has to face a KV-5, which isn't a big threat to his tank. Still reloading. KG rams him for the kill. While I'm down in this basin, I'm going to try to see what kind of shot opportunities I have. Their enemy M103 is on the bridge. I'm going to try to line him up. And I hit him. And I decided not to take the 2nd shot as I wasn't fully aimed in. The 105mm gun can be a little bit temperamental at times. It's not the most accurate gun out there. Moving up on the M103. Still distracted fighting enemies on the other flank. And I get a hit but no damage. Now he's paying attention to me. I'm going to try to hit him in the commander's cupola. And I shoot right over his head. Trying to line him up again. And I bounce off his cupola. I'm now reloading again. Got an IS-6 and an M46 Patton across the bridge. I'm technically on the ice road. Enemy Yag Tiger is dropping into the ditch as well. Currently have a 1 tank lead. Still reloading. And the score is now tied. Still waiting for my reload to wind down. I've reloaded. I'm going to go right after the Yag Tiger as he's pointed the other direction, but he is turning towards me. Get a hit in the flank. Going for the lower plate, and I knock him down. Now backing out. Going to try to line up this IS-6. Get to a partial cover position, and the SU-122 is pushing up, and I get a hit on him. And a 2nd hit, he's down to 50 hit points. The 122-44 and Patton are pushing on me. I'm reloading. Continuing to back out, so the enemy doesn't have any easy opportunities to shoot me. Staying back and letting our low work over that Patton, and he gets a hit. Gets tracked by the 122-44. My reload is winding down. I'm going to come around the corner. Lining up the 122-44, and I knock him down. Get a hit on the I-6, and knock him down. Got 1 shell remaining, lining up the Patton, and I bounce, and KG, who had dropped down with us, knocks him down. The scenario that just occurred is where auto-loading tanks really shine. Being able to pull out of cover and quickly pump out 4 rounds, taking down 2 enemies in the process while only taking minor return damage is a boon. While I did bounce my final shot on the Patton, KG was in position to take him down. We're down to just the enemy T-95, and I load APCR premium rounds. Thanks to XVM, his last known position is C2. And We still have both our artillery, so I'm going to try to light them up. KG is going to take the ice road. Looks like our low is going to go the same way, so we can flank the T-95. T-95 is going to be a bit of a hard nut to crack, even using premium rounds on this tank. I am in fairly good health though at 78%. Cautiously push forward, I light up the T-95. I get a hit for no damage. Bounce my second shot. Artillery misses. Push up to try to get another shot. And I get popped for quite a bit of damage, so I'm going to back out since I lost sight of the T-95. Otherwise I would have taken some shots at him. Need to play this very cautiously right now. And artillery knocks down the T-95 for the win. Looking at the after action screens, I destroyed 4 tanks, damaged 5 more, hit 23 of 26 shots, did 4,720 points of damage, and earned 2,005 experience for an ace tanker badge. Overall, while our original plan was to push the western road, the enemy sent overwhelming numbers to our flank. This changed our plan, forcing us to play defensively, which is not a strength of autoloading tanks. The enemy played the situation correctly by continuing to push in on us, taking out Paladin during our first reload. Ideally, we shouldn't have been reloading at the same time. The enemy's push though was ultimately blunted thanks to some timely help from our team, along with KG protecting me during reload. With the western flank cleared, I needed to head east and put some fire on the enemies attacking the ice road. The true strength of an autoloading tank was on display here, as I took out 2 of the 3 remaining weakened enemies on that flank in one clip. At that point, the match was in hand and our artillery was able to take down the T-95 after I spotted him. Thank you for watching this WoT I'm Thinking debrief. Stay tuned for more content soon.